The Ghost of the Eternal City, a journey before year one. Close your eyes and forget everything you know about the ancient world. Forget the dusty, silent statues in the Met or the British Museum. Imagine instead a world where the air smells of roasting meat, open sewers, and expensive incense. A world where the internet was a paved stone road, and globalism meant a Roman legionary standing guard in a British forest while wearing silk woven in China. This is not a fairy tale. This is the year 30 BCE, 3 decades before the calendar reset to 1. And if you think life back then was primitive, you are about to be proven wrong in the most startling ways. The morning rush in the world's first megacity. Our story begins in Rome, a city that had just hit a population of 1 million people, a feat no other city would repeat until London in the 1800s. Meet Marcus, a low-level scribe. He doesn't wake up to an alarm clock, but to the deafening roar of iron-rimmed cartwheels on basalt paving stones. In Rome, heavy freight was banned during the day to ease traffic, so the truckers of the ancient world pulled all-nighters. Marcus lives in an insula, a 5-story apartment complex. It's made of cheap brick and timber, and it feels like it might collapse at any moment. There is no running water on the 4th floor. Marcus brushes his teeth, not with minty paste, but with a mixture of crushed pumice and, surprisingly, bottled Portuguese urine. The ammonia, the Romans discovered, was an excellent whitener. After a quick breakfast of bread dipped in wine, he heads out. A world of high tech and low mercy. As Marcus walks toward the forum, he passes a Thermopolium, the ancient version of a Chipotle. These were fast food stalls with circular cutouts and stone counters holding hot stews and lentils. Most Romans didn't have kitchens at home because of the fire risk, so eating out was a daily necessity for the poor, not a luxury. But here is where the surprising part kicks in. Marcus stops at a public fountain. This water has traveled 50 miles through massive stone aqueducts, powered entirely by gravity, with a precision of slope that modern engineers still marvel at. The Romans managed a flow rate of millions of gallons a day. However, this sophistication came with a dark price. Marcus watches a chain of slaves cleaning the street. In 30 BCE, the entire global economy was built on human bondage. Nearly 30% of Italy's population was enslaved. You weren't defined by the color of your skin, but by the luck of your birth or the outcome of a war. A doctor, a teacher, or a farmer could all be slaves. The connectivity of the silk and spice. While Marcus goes about his day, the world is more connected than we often realize. In the markets of Rome, you could buy black pepper from India, silk from the Han Dynasty in China, and tin from Cornwall. In Alexandria, Egypt, the Great Library still stands. Scholars there have already calculated the circumference of the Earth with 98% accuracy. They are building steam-powered toys, the Aeolipi, and complex gears like the Antiquity mechanism, essentially an analog computer used to track astronomical cycles.
If you were a wealthy Roman woman, your jewelry didn't just come from the local jeweler. It featured emeralds from Upper Egypt and amber from the Baltic Sea. The global supply chain was already alive, moved by sail and sandal. Medicine, magic, and the great filter. By midday, Marcus feels a toothache. He visits a medicus. There are no painkillers except opium and wine. The tools the doctor uses, scalpels, bone drills, and forceps, look terrifyingly similar to the ones you see in a modern surgical tray. The Romans knew how to do cataract surgery and how to set bones, but they had no idea what a germ was. Marcus pays the doctor and then stops at a temple to leave a curse tablet. If someone stole his cloak at the public baths, he would scratch a prayer onto a lead sheet, asking the gods to twist the intestines of the thief until the cloak was returned. For the person living in 30 BCE, the spiritual world was as real as the physical one. Every tree had a spirit. Every crossroad had a ghost. The shadow of power. The biggest shock for a modern visitor would be the sheer intensity of the politics. This was the era of Julius Caesar, recently assassinated, Cleopatra, the last pharaoh, who had just died, and Augustus, the first emperor. The transition from a republic to an empire wasn't just a history book chapter, it was a violent, vibrating reality. Marcus walks past the rostra, where the severed hands and head of the great orator Cicero had been nailed just years prior as a warning to those who spoke against the government. This was a world of absolute cancel culture, where the cancel meant a sword through the ribs. The shadow falls on the ancient world. As the sun sets, Marcus returns home. There are no streetlights. Rome at night is a labyrinth of pitch-black alleys where muggers, called grassatores, wait. He locks his door with a heavy iron key, a Roman invention, and lights an oil lamp. He sits by the window and looks out. He doesn't know that in about 30 years, a child will be born in a dusty Roman province called Judea, who will change the dating system of the entire world. He doesn't know that the eternal city he walks in will eventually fall to ruins and be rediscovered by people flying in metal birds. To Marcus, this is the peak of human achievement. He has heated floors, hypocausts, concrete that sets underwater, a recipe lost for 1,000 years after his death, and a legal system that would become the foundation for the United States Constitution. The takeaway: life before the year 0001 wasn't a primitive struggle for survival. It was a high-stakes, high-tech for its time, and deeply cultured existence. It was a world of extreme wealth and crushing slavery, of brilliant science and bizarre superstition. When we look back at people like Marcus, we shouldn't see cavemen in tunics. We should see ourselves, people trying to navigate a complex, globalized, and often violent world using the best tools they had. They were the architects of the floor we stand on today.